Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Having somehow been called to Arunachala, I invite you to rest. Ask yourself, having come to the heart of being physically, am I still seeking something? What? Or am I resting? Not in the sense of doing nothing, but in the sense of recognizing I am here. Not here in terms of this physical place, but here as presence, being, consciousness. Your destiny has brought you here, and it couldn't have been different. You may think that you've made all sorts of decisions and choices and somehow landed here at the feet of Arunachala. But if you really look deeply and are really honest with yourself, you realize it couldn't have been different. This is your destiny. This is what you have always been looking for. This contact with the silence of your own being. You have finally come home. So rest. And every time that the sense of the personal, felt as me, grasped as mine, rises, ask yourself, who is this me? What is really mine? If you look, high and low through the body, the mind, and the world, you can see very quickly that there is no me. This is a set of beliefs, this me is a set of beliefs that has been built brick on brick throughout a lifetime of experiences. But each time you look for this me, you see there is nothing there. Maybe some ideas, some emotions, some experiences. But if you ask yourself, to whom does this come? This thought, this feeling, this experience? Who is the one to whom this comes? You can see very quickly there is no one here. If I look for this idea of I, me, or mine, with the commitment not to cling to anything that appears to be I, me, or mine, this false sense of the personal dissolves very quickly, because you cannot find I, me, or mine. There may still be some tendencies carrying on through conditioning to cling to this false sense of I, me, or mine. But as you become more and more adept, more and more willing to keep letting go as appearances come and go, the recognition that I, me, and mine is real begins to crumble. This is a house built on a foundation of sand. The inquiry, who am I? Who or what am I referring to when I say me, mine, I? This foundation begins to crumble quickly because it is built on sand. Your real foundation is not in I, me, or mine, but rather in that which is aware. Here, now, no past, no present, no future. If you don't cling to I, me, or mine in memory, in imagination, in time, when you are free of clinging, you are free to realize your nature as awareness itself, that which is unborn, undying, free. Be gentle, but keep letting go. There is nothing you need to cling to. No, I am aware, and all is well. As your trust grows, or as trust itself grows, in this recognition, the false sense of I, me, and mine falls apart. It simply dissolves. So surrender every reason, every thought, every imagined understanding about why you are here or why you came. Allow yourself to be and to know your freedom, which is eternally now. This freedom cannot be experienced through resolving the past, creating some imaginary future, or solving problems in the present moment time. This freedom is here as your nature. It is quiet, gentle, unassuming. It will come with the silence of spirit mystical union. For most, there is no Big Bang, just the sudden realization of true nature as being, consciousness, ever present, bliss. So rest. Know I am here. Stand in this gateway and let the heart of being, the self itself, pull you further and further into what was already here before you started the quest. You are here. Rest. In your freedom, there is nothing in body, mind, or world which defines you. If you must cling to some form of identification temporarily, let it be that which is aware is here now, and I am that. This recognition can be used like a stick in a fire to keep turning the fire until both the fire, the logs, and the stick you are using to turn it disappear, leaving only vast, open space, the space of the heart, that which you already were. All right. If you'd like the microphone, please let us know. Someone wants to speak.
There's still a lot of me here, a lot of identification with this small I, and it's seen when you're out there. Here in this satsang space, under your guidance, immersed in samvada with you, with your heartfelt presence, it's easy to be loving and sweet.
Yes, but don't you realize this is your heartfelt presence?
I do, also. But then there's some intense encounters out there, like yesterday it happened. Yeah, if I just briefly share, not to bore everybody, some surface mind stuff. In front of the Tasty Cafe, I tried to park my bike, and I had to do some shifting because one bike parked blocked two spaces. And while I'm arranging, there's this lorry coming on, and he just instantly starts honking and cussing and swearing.
Yeah. Welcome to India.
Welcome to India. I know. I've been a while here, so I should be used to that by now. However, I could see this huge wave of anger with all my Shanti and peaceness inside. Yeah. Thus the pretender is revealed. Yeah. It just goes to one certain point, and then... And it's just a sharing, and maybe you could give some insights. It's not a how question from the mind, there's no method, but to deal maybe, because the way I see it, there's a lot of components coming with this. But the two main factors are the story in your head. How could he, how dare he, and you can grind your mind with that for hours. And the other big aspect is this tremendous energy, like especially with this kind of intense emotions. And so it's seen more and more that, yes, letting go of the story as fast as possible and just staying with this energy, and it goes like the Hoover in the heart just sucks it up, and then here we are back at tranquility. Still, it was very disturbing nonetheless.
Yeah.
And the surface was getting very agitated.
Where is it now?
In the heart. It's gone. No. This is not present at all. There's just a slight agitation due to, and heart palpitation due to the fact that I'm reporting about this. But all that is completely gone. It's yesterday, it's the past, of course, it's gone.
Yes, but what I want you to see is that you are still holding on to it in some way. You have grabbed a hold of it.
That's true.
Even just for a short while, it becomes some aspect of the personality or the identity which you call me, right? So this grasping will keep the momentum of these kinds of experiences, which actually you know, because you, just from the way you described it, you know it amounted to nothing. It was just there, and then it was gone. You know it amounted to nothing. But the mind, the emotions, the identity of the personal me somehow still wants to talk about it today, and may want to talk about it tomorrow, and may want to tell that story when you go somewhere else.
I don't know about that, but maybe. I don't know, I felt like sharing it because it was so intense, and that's it.
It is very intense, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. But please just recognize that it's just a thought. The whole event is just a thought. the event itself, the reaction to it, the telling of the story, all of it is just a random number of thoughts that have all linked themselves together into the appearance of something real. And in truth...
That's also seen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Very good. Then in truth, understand that nothing has happened. Nothing has ever happened. It didn't happen on the street. It didn't happen in your mind. The anger didn't rise in any way that you can...
That's the crux of it, because for the small me it happened very strongly, very much.
Yes, until you realize that the small me also doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So, go to the root of the problem. The root of the problem is the belief in the small me, not the event itself, but that which causes it to linger.
This needs to be snipped in the bud, but...
Yes, there is no me.
Yes.
Can you accept that?
There's this aspect that accepts it totally, but apparently not fully.
Yeah, but this is the difference. This is how the small me, the personality, the thinking mind veils the self. Is if we keep saying, yeah, but there's this small aspect. Really? Are you sure? Look. You see, this small aspect doesn't exist either. It exists only as a thought in the mind. That's it. Without grasping to any kind of thought in the mind, the waves may still come and go because we have a body-mind, we are in this world apparently. But without clinging or without aversion, trying to push something away, nothing is ever happening. There is only being consciousness, which is the witness to all of this. And witnesses not only the lorry and the angry driver, but witnesses the anger that comes up in this imaginary self, this imaginary person. Witnesses all of that. But as soon as the bike is parked and the lorry has driven away and you're inside Tasty Cafe getting ready to order your lunch, there's nothing left. There is no residue. This is the difference between freedom and not. Freedom has no interest in what just happened.
Yeah. Yes.
With the recognition that nothing really ever happened. Not is still engaged in the story, in the mind, in the heart, trying to understand, if you will, what happened, why it happened, what it means, the next day or 2 days or 10 days later. This is not freedom. So recognize the difference and work on this, undercutting this me more quickly. What I mean by that is, whatever residue was left after the experience, it causes this to rise up and causes this shimmering to happen in consciousness. Just keep saying, not me, not this. I am not this. I am not this. Not with anger, frustration, with aversion, but just out of the recognition of the truth which you have heard and you know. You are not this. You are the self.
And this conversion, like into pure energy, helped also actually a lot, just to come back to presence and to let go of this.
Yeah. But it doesn't absolve us from having to stand in whatever that energy is, which is related to conditioning. You see, it's not related to the identity of a me. It's simply related to the conditioning of a lifetime or lifetimes.
Absolutely. Huge.
So take no interest in it. Yeah. Simple. Not easy. Simple.
Not at all, but simple, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
These understandings can be boiled down into a few words or a few sentences, but the practice of them in the moment, this is the only place that effort needs to be applied. It's not the effort to become enlightened, it's the effort to be here now. That's it. And to remain here now, even when things go cattywampus and go sideways, apparently. Just realize that which is aware is here now and is aware not only of the lorry and the driver and the anger and the identity that came out of that and the lingering sense of personality, but is also aware that all of that has nothing to do with that which I am. It's just an appearance. In some ways, it is necessary for you to be able to talk to yourself, talk to this mind, talk to this imaginary self in exactly the way we are speaking. So yes, definitely, let go, sit in the silence, enjoy the bliss of being consciousness, come to satsang, but understand where the work lies is may not be right here. This may be a relief from the work that needs to be done, causing yourself to become familiar with what it feels like to rest as being consciousness in the presence of others who are sharing that same desire. This is the point of satsang, of meditation, of retreat. It's to be in the presence of that. But more importantly, it's so that when this happens out there, you can ground yourself in the heart of being as quickly as possible. And in the full knowledge, this is not me. This is not the truth. This is the unreal. I can dance in this, but I know it is not real.
Dance, but renounce the dancer.
Yes, dance with no dancer. Yes. Experience with no experiencer, think with no thinker. Stand in life without doing anything. Which supports identity. But understand very clearly, as best you are able at any given moment, what is going on. This is the reason we talk about this, is not so that we are going to miraculously become enlightened, although that has happened. It really is so that we can begin to understand the ways in which we can work with the samskaras, we can work with the tendencies, we can work with the conditioning. When something triggers a form of conditioning that for you was probably quite well hidden.
The anger. Oh, that's one of the selves that are quite amongst lust. They're the most prominent from all these matrices of the lower self, or the ego construct, if you put it that way.
The difficulty of thinking the difficulty of thinking of it that way as a lower ego construct and blah 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 is
just that the concept again, just to put it in words.
It is a concept, but the consequence of holding that kind of concept is that it has a tendency to push or suppress the true understanding of what has just happened because of the fear of the anger or because of the rejection of the anger. You see? So there's an aspect of the personal that is suppressed. And so even though one may see it and know, oh, well, I have this anger, the judgment that comes along with that, unconsciously, subconsciously, causes us to want to suppress that, not to demonstrate that. And this is good because we don't want to go around venting and being angry at everybody in the whole world. This is very good in that way, that we don't spread it out to others. But when it arises in this one, then it becomes the opportunity, right? It's not something to suppress. It's not something to negate, deny. It is something to stand in and recognize this is here.
Right.
It has its foundation in conditioning, and I am not that. So that the question, who am I, or what am I, can arise using the opportunity that has arisen through the vehicle of what you're calling anger or emotion. Okay.
Beautiful opportunity.
Yeah.
Beautiful opportunity at the same time. Or it's better to see it as an opportunity than a just pure.
Well, it is an
emotional
opportunity.
outburst.
It's not better to see it as an opportunity. That's a mental gymnastic. But
Again, yeah.
it's just better. It's just to understand that it is an opportunity. The question is, will you take it or not? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Or will you continue to support the
Yes.
conditioning? This is to not take the opportunity. Supports the conditioning. You
Right.
take the opportunity and stand in it. Then you are standing in truth. Using anger, what you are calling anger or labeling anger. You are standing in truth through the vehicle of anger. Beautiful, eh? Now this anger becomes your ally, not your enemy. The near enemy of anger, one can say, is compassion. So when you are standing in truth, then you have compassion for this one who has had this experience and is in this frustration and in this anger.
And instant compassion for the poor driver that got delayed now because of my being a hindrance.
That was also his dharma. Move away from the assumption that what happens in the world of form is entirely or largely related to this form. You have no idea the causes and conditions which have brought about any particular experience. Even this one sitting here, even the peace of this being, even that one which has had its foundation in anger. Don't assume responsibility for what you know nothing about. Just let go. Move on quickly. The causes and conditions of all arising phenomenon are unknown and endless. If you want to know why, in a circumstance like this, just using your example, what will happen is you can spend a lifetime trying to find the root of why that happened. Or you can liberate yourself in the recognition, not me, right now. You choose. The Buddha said, the causes and conditions for manifested phenomenon are endless. And you will waste your life trying to understand why a particular event happened or circumstances are the way that they were. This is why we say, let go of the past. Let go of the imaginary future that you're holding yourself to. Let go of this present moment as time and be in this moment as presence, not as time. Time is linear and limited. Presence is vast and unlimited. You are that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're so wonderful.
The self alone is.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, hi.
It's on. I can hear you.
Yes. So I would like to ask you about sense impressions, like hearing, seeing, yes?
Yeah. Extensions of the mind.
Yeah, like extensions, they belong to the mind, but when I try to find rest in this pure awareness, they are very much present there. The monkeys are running on the roof. I'm opening the eyes and then I see a building in front of me. And they are, I know that they don't belong there. They are not, do you agree? They don't belong to this place of pure awareness, but they are disturbed.
They are not characteristics of pure awareness, but they are definitely rising in pure awareness.
Yes.
So you cannot deny the experiential quality of them.
I mean, because I feel that the sense impressions, they are something that partly they are in the body, but partly they are like doors, like, and they surround me. They surround my rest.
Yes.
The place of rest, yes?
Yes.
And
they surround the place of rest when the place of rest is dependent upon the mind. Understand the sense doors or the sense windows, the senses themselves, which are out here, to simply be extensions of mind.
Yes, but if I don't identify with the mind,
you don't identify them with mind,
no.
But that's okay. They are, that is what they are. If you really look, you can see that if you lose the sense of hearing, the other senses will pick that up. They will compensate for it. This is because the mind still wants to know. So it will increase its capacity to know through the windows, through the opportunities that it has, right? So these are definitely extensions of mind.
So the pure presence has nothing to do with senses. I mean,
say that again.
I mean,
I didn't hear you.
This resting place, yes.
Yeah.
The pure awareness, pure consciousness, yes. Eventually has nothing to do with senses. Do you agree with this?
No, of course not. And the proof of that is that when you go into deep sleep at night, the sense doors close. That is the nature of sleep. The sense doors close. Hearing, tasting, touching, seeing, smelling, and thinking, gone. But if you are asked when you come back awake in the morning, how did you sleep? You say, oh, I slept well.
Yeah.
So awareness is there throughout the sleep period, but the senses are closed. This is the nature of sleep. You know this also because if in the middle of the night some loud noise like that cracker goes like that, you are instantly back in the body as awareness through the sense doors, correct? If an explosion goes off 10 feet away from you while you are sleeping, you don't keep sleeping.
Okay, I agree with this.
So awareness is there all the time.
Yes.
It's not dependent upon the sense doors being opened or closed.
So what is awareness dependent on?
Awareness depends on nothing.
Yes.
Everything depends on awareness.
Okay.
Awareness is the foundation for all which can be seen. It is, you can say, the illuminator of everything that can be experienced through any one of the sense doors. There is the sound, there is the mechanism of hearing, there is the hearer. All of that is dependent upon the awareness itself. Without the awareness itself, in the middle of deep sleep, or any other time, samadhi is a good example, there is no recognition of hearer, hearing, and heard. It simply doesn't happen. Until awareness rises, once again, in the waking state, nothing is known except that which is aware is here now. And it has no qualities. So it is simply here as empty space. But it is perceived by us through the direct perception, I am, in the waking state. But its existence is prior to that. It is always here. here as this, and this, and monkeys on the roof. It is here as all of this, but it's only when it goes out through the waking state, through the mind, through the sense doors, to the sense object, and returns, which all happens that quickly, that we are able to comprehend or apprehend that being consciousness or awareness itself is here as the prior state. It is the requirement. We really can see this. If those of you who have ever attended someone's dying can really see this in the death of the body, because we know the being in the way in which we know them, correct? Throughout our whole relationship with them. But the instant that the consciousness leaves the body, we see there's a recognition that happens in a very deep and profound way. She is gone. The body is still there. We can see the body, but we know he is gone. So the awareness itself is the prior condition. And this is demonstrated to us throughout our experience if we look carefully. And this is why, because we understand this in a very profound way, either conceptually because we're hearing it for the first time, or we understand it very deeply, we are able to say, not this, not this, not this, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this, to all of the experiences that come and go, and use that as a way of recognizing the deeper truth that awareness is the foundation of everything.
It's personal question I have. If there is a person whom you love dearly, in this case it's my younger brother, and that person now is in a deep state of suffering, almost neglecting life. So now, putting away this me, and putting away thoughts I have invented, or visions I have invented, or solutions I have invented to help him.
Yes.
Is there any way to help? And being close, and also experiencing that helplessness. And also understanding I cannot do anything. So what could be the most gentle, soft, compassionate way of seeing it? Thank you.
So what would be the most generous, compassionate, and soft way of helping someone that you love very deeply who is engaged in the path of suffering at this moment, and you can't see any solution to that or any answer to that? Correct? The limiting factors in our ability to help anyone or any circumstance are probably two, at least. First, we have an expectation. That's something we do think are will have the outcome that I want it to have. So the outcome is limited by our expectations around what is possible. 2, the outcome is limited through our inability to love unconditionally as the vast space of being. Again, because limited by this false sense of me or mine, what I expect, what I would like, the outcome I would like, and that I myself, as the small self, the small me, am limited in my capacity to do anything. This is simply false. You are vast space and love. If there's not an expectation for an outcome, and there is a vast space of love in which you are holding this loved one, then you have fully surrendered this whole drama, this whole experience to the Lord, to Arunachala, to God, to the self. This is an opportunity for you to trust the self. This is not an easy way to go. This is not a passive activity. This is an